Hello my friends, I'm Lucas and you're watching coldemonspl. If you like my work, please remember to click thumb up, subscribe to my channel and write some comments.
There is nothing to hide, it was one of the most challenging projects in my modeling career. Looking at it in retrospect, at first glance it seems to be quite extensive, and that's actually the case. This model is one of 8 vehicles presented in my book, and there you will find the entire article about it. So don't waste your time and order your copy in your favorite model store. The basic set is from AFV Club, but I also collected some accessories. Wheels from Dev Model, metal towing cables from Eureka XXL, periscope glazes also from the club, upgrades to Browning, mine plow upgrade set also from the club, and a set of photo etched from ET Model. I will use most of them, but there will also be other sets that turn out to be necessary. Not everything can be predicted at the very beginning. However, the biggest addition and the second model in this project is the M58 MICLIC trailer, an almost unavailable model that I somehow managed to get in Spain. It cost quite a lot, but my wife didn't mind because she knew it would turn out to be a cool model and I would be famous, and after the publication of the book we would buy a house on some island. Joke, of course. I also prepared the books with huge amount of knowledge about this vehicle. They are a great reference material where you can find a lot of inspirations, just because real vehicles are a place with huge number of ideas that can be implemented in our projects. I started the construction by assembling the chassis and immediately started adding additional elements. Of course, here the most visible are the resin wheels, which in my opinion are necessary because the rubber imitations that the producer adds to the model are worth nothing. As you can see, it's better to invest in a good product that will last unchanged for years, unless we put it in the bright sun and the temperature will do its job. The wheels fit perfectly, so now you can assemble the entire hull. A few drops of glue and the work is done. Before the details appear on the hull, you need to create an anti-slip surface. It's definitely easier at this point than when we attach individual pieces of equipment. For this purpose, the best solution is the VMS product, which consists of glue and liquid sand. Apply the glue to the surface of the model with a brush. You need to remember to omit elements such as screws and do it carefully, because it will affect the final effect. The surface should be shiny. Before applying liquid sand, I recommend using mask because the sprayed product easily enters our respiratory tract. Application involves covering the glued surface with liquid and letting it dry. Don't be surprised if you have a lot of dust to collect around, because this is normal. It may even be better to prepare a more closed station so as not to make the workbench so dirty. After complete drying, all lines between the armor plates, screw heads and other elements should be cleaned of sand particles. I used a toothpick, a metal brush and a typical brush. You have to spend some time on it, but it's necessary for our work to look good. After mechanical cleaning, the surface can be cleaned chemically, for example with model degreaser. This will wash away all the loose dust that is undoubtedly on the model and which would interfere with further work. And now it's a perfect moment to mention my wonderful patrons who support my activity. Massive thanks, guys! The people who help me the most are Bulldog09, Christopher Obarski, Dan Dubois, Dan Mikeshak, Hans Zapp, Karsten Inkedi and Steve Ankin. But the people listed just now are also my great patrons. Please don't forget that you can be one of them. And I realize it's not easy these days, but if you have a few bucks you could drop in my cup, that would be great. Thanks! I prepared both sides of the model before gluing them, so now the anti-slip surface is done, I can add them to the hull. While working, I received another book from which I could draw a lot of inspiration. Plow Editions has released references about the different version, but it's still a huge source of knowledge. Here I found an interesting arrangement of the winch rope, which I decided to arrange on my model. Of course I will use the Eureka XXL product for this, just like for the main towing cables. I used an old wine cork to arrange the shape. After wrapping the rope lined up perfectly, and I used superglue to stiffen it and glue it to the model. I also mentioned the main towing cables, for the arrangement of which I once again used the above mentioned publications. What you see here is the perfect solution for my model. Only the towing cable in covers could be better, but that's for another project. Of course I used the ropes shown from Abrams. Installing them is very simple and all you need to do is attach the end to the towing shackle. By the way, please note that I have also already added some resin accessories in the side baskets and large transport boxes on the roof of the vehicle. A few pieces of blue tack were necessary to keep the wheels on the hubs. I checked whether all the wheels were touching the chassis and how the model looked when it was on the ground. The tests were successful and it's no surprise when we use such great products. Structurally, I'm close to the end of construction. Only or maybe even the mine plow remains, which, like a trailer, is a model in itself. Building this element is quite time consuming due to the number of small elements that need to be properly prepared for assembly. As a result, the movable element is ready for installation, which however it's not such an easy task and requires some patience. Well, apparently modelers are patient people, so there shouldn't be any problems with it. For the end I left my resin jam. The instructions are quite well drawn and there are no problems with identifying the parts. After the initial satisfaction, the time came for the sat through and I realized that the price doesn't necessarily correspond to the quality. Some parts required corrections, minor or major, and it took me some time to turn this jumble of resin casts into a model that looked like a trailer. But there is no point in complaining because no one told me to buy this set, right? I slightly undercut the wheels to imitate the deflection of the tires, added hydraulic lines, and this is how the whole thing was attached to the Stryker. Now it looks like this. Thank you for watching, and once again I suggest to buy my book, which should be available in all good modeling stores. Now traditionally don't forget to click like, subscribe to the channel and write a comment to make my work more viral. In the next episode I will be showing painting and weathering, so I hope to see you next week at the same time. That's all for today, see you next time, cheers!